Hey guys, Sean here, and welcome to the F1 Word. Now, although they keep being batted away, the rumours around Max Verstappen leaving Red Bull keep rearing their head, and whilst it looks like he's set to stay where he is for next season, at least at time of recording, and not take a gamble on another team, a move away in the future is far from impossible. Worth noting, this is quite a fluid situation though, so by the time this video goes out, he may have already signed for, Haas. At the end of last season, Lewis Hamilton, no stranger to taking a risk on a team, as we know from his 2012 McLaren exit, walked away from Mercedes to join Ferrari in one of the most surprising driver transfers in recent years, and some argue F1 history. But although taking an often perceived gamble of leaving a title-winning team to move elsewhere doesn't happen all that often in Formula One, it's not a new thing that's exclusive to Hamilton or potentially in the future Verstappen. So today, I thought we'd take a look, just for fun and a bit of a change of pace, at just 7 world champions who have defected to rival teams. Again, these are just a few picks, so if there are any moves missing from this list, then let me know who you'd have included in the comments section down below. First up, it's Alain Prost and his move to Ferrari. The Frenchman won the 1989 World Championship with McLaren, his third of 4 titles overall, but made the decision to leave at the end of the season as he called time on his bitter partnership and inter-team rivalry with Ayrton Senna. Their penultimate race as teammates was the infamous 1989 Japanese Grand Prix, where Senna lunged at Prost at the final chicane, the Frenchman turned in, the two collided, and Prost retired as Senna got a push start from the marshals. The Brazilian going on to cross the line and take what he thought was a victory to keep him in contention for the title. However, he was disqualified post-race for cutting the final chicane following his assisted restart, with Senna himself expressing his frustration and belief that there had been a manipulation of the championship. It was the final round in their tension-fraught relationship as teammates, with Prost leaving McLaren to join Ferrari. That didn't last too long though, as he was fired a year later for publicly criticising the team, likening the 91 Ferrari to a truck. Next up, it is Ayrton Senna and his move from McLaren to Williams for the 1994 season. Senna had wrapped up his third Drivers' Championship title with McLaren in 1991, but the team's results took a hit the following season, with Senna winning just 3 Grand Prix as the famous or infamous Williams FW14B dominated the campaign. That domination made it tough for McLaren team boss Ron Dennis to convince the Brazilian to stick with the team, with rumours and stories claiming that the late confirmation he would continue with McLaren for 93 cost the team an alleged $1 million per race. There were also rumours Alain Prost had a clause in his Williams contract that prevented the team from signing Senna as his teammate for the 93 campaign, something Prost has since confirmed existed, but insists it was not something he pushed for. Despite enjoying a better season and recovering well to finish the year second in the drivers' standings with 5 wins to his name, Senna made his much-wanted move to Williams for the 1994 season. This story, though, has a tragic ending as Senna lost his life in a crash at the San Marino Grand Prix, just his 4th race weekend with the team. Despite winning back-to-back world titles with Benetton in 1994 and 1995, Michael Schumacher was convinced to join Ferrari for the 1996 season. The team had last won the driver's title in 1979 with Jody Scheckter, but although it took a few years, all that was about to change. Back to the switch though, and the rumours emerged in July of 95 that the German had been in Geneva to sign the Ferrari contract, even though Benetton, under Flavio Briatore, were keen to hold on to their world champion, understandably. However, with Schumacher wanting to take on the challenge of rebuilding Ferrari to take them back to their former glories, and the offer of a reported $25 million to move to Maranello, he traded his championship-winning Benetton for Ferrari Red, signing a 2-year deal with the Italian outfit. Schumacher would narrowly miss out on the title a year after joining the team, although he was disqualified from the final result. Wasn't far off again in 1998, and having missed much of the 99 season due to the injuries he sustained in his crash at Silverstone, he went on to win his first of 5 consecutive Drivers' Championship titles with the Scuderia in 2000, his time with the team coming to an end in 2006. Next up, it is Lewis Hamilton's shock switch to, no, not Ferrari for 25, but Mercedes for 2013. The Brit made his Formula One debut with McLaren in 2007 and finished on the podium in his very first race, the Australian Grand Prix, as well as the 8 races that followed. He would go on to win a world title with the Woking team in 2008, but 4 years later, he stunned the F1 paddock when he announced he'd be leaving McLaren for Mercedes, a move which, as mentioned at the start of the video, was seen as a huge gamble given the silver arrows were very much seen as untested, something drivers and pundits alike alluded to as they questioned the switch. But with the new 2014 regulations on the horizon, and the rumours of the team having stolen a march on the engine front over its rivals, it was a calculated gamble. Hamilton only won the one race in his first season with the team, but come the end of the following year, he would bag a second driver's title that would turn out to be his first of 6 with the Brackley squad. With the benefit of many years of hindsight, it's safe to say his 2013 gamble paid off rather handsomely. The penultimate pick for this video is Fernando Alonso and his decision to drop Renault for McLaren for 2007. Alonso will forever be noted in F1's history books as the driver who ended Michael Schumacher's 5-year reign in the sport, as the Spaniard clinched the 2005 and 2006 World Drivers' titles with the Renault team. At the end of the year, though, he moved to McLaren to make good on a deal that was actually signed and sealed in December 2005, a bombshell announcement by the team dropping just before Christmas that year. Alonso made his debut for the team in 2007 alongside rookie teammate Lewis Hamilton, but it was a tense season between the two drivers with controversy never too far away and not just out on track, with the team embroiled in the Spygate controversy, which saw them disqualified from the Constructors' Championship and handed a record-breaking fine, but that is a story for another day. Spygate and the acrimonious relationship with Hamilton resulted in Fernando, who missed out on the title by just 1 point, as did his teammate, walking away from McLaren to return to Renault for the 2008 season. Before we get on to the final driver on this list, there are a couple of, let's say, honourable mentions I wanted to point out as they may crop up in the comments. Now, Damon Hill made the switch to Arrows for the 1997 season, but the reason he doesn't make the main list is that the reigning world champion wasn't given an awful lot of choice in the matter after Williams made the decision to let him go in favour of retaining Jacques Villeneuve and bringing in Heinz-Harald Frentzen. As explained in the recent Sky documentary film Hill, which, by the way, if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend giving it a watch, Frentzen was given the nod over Hill as Frank Williams was keen to entice BMW back into F1 in the near future, something he of course achieved in 1997 as he struck a deal with the German manufacturer to supply the team with engines from the 2000 season. And Jacques Villeneuve's decision to move to BAR for 1999 was a surprising one. The 97 world champion left Williams following a disappointing title defence to take on the role of number one driver at the brand new British-American racing team, following British-American Tobacco's acquisition of the struggling Tyrrell outfit. It is safe to say it didn't go well despite all the fanfare. Villeneuve and the team didn't score a single point in their first season together, the Canadian actually failing to see the checkered flag at 13 of the 16 races that year. Given Villeneuve has since said he was offered a seat at McLaren for 99, I don't think it's unreasonable to say that his BAR switch for at least that season was a big mistake. And the final driver on the, let's call it, main list is Hamilton to Ferrari aside, which I spoke about at the very start of the video, and what felt like continually over the winter, the most recent move by a world champion to a rival team, and that is Sebastian Vettel. Having entered F1 as Robert Kubic's one-off replacement at the 2007 US Grand Prix and full-time with Toro Rosso later that season, a team he would win a race with a year later, Vettel moved to the main Red Bull team for 2009 and went on to win 4 Drivers' Championship titles with them from 2010 to 2013. Vettel and Red Bull's success story ended abruptly in 2014 when the Renault engine was, like most others on the grid, blitzed by the new all-conquering Mercedes power unit, and following what was a disappointing campaign, the German jumped ship to Ferrari. It was arguably the worst-kept secret in the paddock as it was always widely believed he would follow in the footsteps of his hero Michael Schumacher and drive for the famous team, but despite a couple of glimpses of hope, most notably in 2017 and 2018, he was never able to achieve his dream of becoming a world champion with Ferrari, and having been dropped at the end of 2020, spent 2 seasons with Aston Martin before retiring from the sport. That is it for this one then, but once again, let me know down in the comments if there's anyone you would add to this list. But in the meantime, if you did enjoy this one, then please do leave a like as it really does help the channel in its never-ending battle with that pesky YouTube algorithm. And consider subscribing too so you don't miss any future videos or streams. But as ever, thank you for watching. I've been Sean, this has been the F1 Word, and until next time, goodbye.